Ni hao, and welcome back to Interpreting the Stars, where today we're taking a look at another foreign film, The Farewell. Although I think it was technically an American production, but a majority of it is spoken in the Mandarin language. Now, the reason for which I'm reviewing this film is basically the same reason that I reviewed Parasite a few days ago, right? Because there is an overwhelming amount of hype surrounding this movie for whatever reason. And you know what? Again, I would have to agree with a majority of that hype. I wouldn't necessarily say that I loved it as much as everybody else because of technical things, which I will get into soon, but I did think that it was masterfully performed, and now let's get into it. So The Farewell focuses on a Chinese family. Some of them live in China, some in Japan, and some in America. When they learn that their grandmother, Nai Nai, is dying soon due to stage 4 cancer, they all come together to celebrate her life before she passes. The thing about it is they're all lying about why they're there in the first place. They claim to be visiting China because somebody in the family is getting married, and they choose to instead carry the burden of Nai Nai's impending death so that she can enjoy the time they have together. The first thing I want to talk about with The Farewell is everybody's performance. This is probably the best acting that I've seen in any given foreign language film, and to be honest, it's better than a lot of movies spoken in my native tongue. It's all about how these people have layers upon layers of hidden emotion at the prospect of their grandmother's diagnosis, and how each of them are deeply conflicted about keeping it a secret. It seems wrong and possibly even illegal if it were in the US, but they also want to keep her happy and enjoying life as long as humanly possible. It does such a fantastic job breaking down the fact that everybody is different and experiences emotions differently. Some can keep their cool better than others who have a hard time not breaking down at every given opportunity. Acting like you're sad and crying all the time is something that's already difficult to do as an actor. Acting like you're hardly keeping yourself together, on the other hand, is unimaginably difficult, and everybody in this film pulled it off. If I was rating this movie solely on the performances and nothing else, I doubt my score would be anything other than a perfect 100%, because everything about these people was real, believable, relatable in a million different ways. Instead, I want to talk about maybe some things that I don't think always worked as well as it should have. Before I see a movie, I look at the genre online, which I suppose might be a bad idea because you can have expectations that won't be met. This film is listed as a comedy drama, and to be honest, I think it was 97% drama. It is lighthearted and bittersweet because of the lie that these people are living, but it was primarily dramatic above all else. So I was expecting more of a balance between comedy and drama, and that's not what I got. Also, narratively speaking, this film follows a very simple plot, which isn't a bad thing, but the point was to be near their grandmother, which they all show up in the first 10 to 15 minutes or so. So the real story goal is accomplished more or less in the beginning. The rest of the movie is carrying out the lie, and there's not much focus on the wedding story, to be honest, so there's not really many obstacles in their way. There's really only one obstacle, which is basically to keep it together for Nai Nai. Again, this is a character study, which is fantastic, but there's not a ton of narrative. That being said, the cinematography in the film was particularly impressive at any given moment. There were really beautiful shots in this film that invoke the emotional response that you can tell that it was definitely going for, as well as a really impressive musical score that is lighthearted at times and haunting at others. I was even humming along with the score because honestly, it's that good, and I wouldn't mind listening to it outside of the film itself. So, what did I rate this film? 80%, 80 out of 100 possible stars, granting it the letter grade of B-, which is actually very similar to the score that I gave to Parasite. So it's a great year for foreign language films because I also liked Fury, which came out a little ways back. Anyways, I want to hear your thoughts about The Farewell in the comments down below. Were you a nervous wreck of tears while watching this movie? Let me know. And as for YouTube, you know what to do. Hit the subscribe button if you like this review and would like to see some more like it. Hit the thumbs up button because that always helps out my channel. And you know what? There's a little bell icon. And if you hit the little bell icon, that helps notify you when I come out with my next review. But until then, peace out.